guy named Takashi Osada is one of these implementation scientists, and he put it like this: if the process is right, the results will take care of themselves. So for me, I don't want to say I don't care about the outcomes, because you have to care about outcomes. But like, there's exactly one way to improve your outcomes. You have to improve your process. It's the only way. So there are many, 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 many items, like you tried chlorhexidine bathing, that are associated with CLABSI reduction, right? So here's a paper from Infection Prevention Today, I think. Infection Control Today, not something I read, all the time, for sure, right? And this was last year or 2 years ago. Prevention bundles implemented by infection preventionists can provide cost-effective mechanism to reduce CLABSI. They don't say what the bundles are, but we just showed that insertion bundle thing, And then they went on to say, when the programs were led by IP directors rather than managers, the standard infection rates linked to CLABSI were significantly reduced. Great. Hey, super. If this is going to help the situation, I'm all for it, right? So, in that vein, Becca Bartles. Anybody know Becca Bartles? So Becca was like epidemiologist, infection preventionist for the Providence system out in the Northwest. And she just became this for APIC in Washington. She's like a big deal in Washington. And I met her, we're not friends, we're colleagues. I called her up on the phone and said, I love what you're presenting, here's what you gotta do. She didn't probably, it was like the ICU director, she didn't want to hear it. No, I won't say that. But I heard her present on this thing, like what can we do? The myriad of things that we can do. And she presented it at the Infusion Nursing Society conference, and then they make you publish it, right? So this is her paper, and she looked at all these things. She goes in with like 3 or 4 of her epidemiologists to the hospitals that have trouble, and she looked at all this stuff, right? So Becca looked at nurse to patient ratio, clearly an important thing. Do they have travelers? Less audits, right? RNs not comfy speaking up. Preemptive CVC based on clinician availability. In other words, hey, Jack's on call today, let's get a central line. It's not supposed to work like that. Changing cleaning practice. It was like during COVID, where there were a lot of challenges to all this stuff, right? What other lines DC'd? Cultures, daily bath, daily CHG treatment, right? Limited documentation, no clip form, no CLABSI education. This is one I like. The supply closets were different. The supply closet in MICU was different than the supply closet in SICU, was different than the supply closet in CCU. So then what's happening? You go in there, everybody's throwing junk in the air, looking around for the stuff. You want it standardized, right? But my message to Becca Bartles was, all of these factors are not equal. Sure, nurse to patient ratio, the supply, all this stuff, they're not equal, right? Suppose you fix these things on our list, but you don't fix insertion. Where are you going to be? If you want to improve CLABSI and vascular access in general, you have to fix insertion first. Why? It happens first. You can't fix this problem by fixing care and maintenance or the supply closet or the nurse to patient ratio. It just comes down to it's an insertion problem. It's not an infection prevention problem, except where they intersect, right?